Every parent wants their children to be good in their academics and do well in their student life, learn well, score well, go to greater heights in their education. That is the desire of all parents. Now, is there any way to motivate our children to keep learning and keep doing well? Today in this video, we are going to discuss 7 things that you can do to motivate your children to keep learning and doing more in their academics and thereby score well. My name is Kala and I am an educationist, thinker, mathematics teacher and a kids growth enhancer mentor. So we are going to discuss the 7 things that you can do to motivate your children to learn and do well in their academics. The first being, set up a good studying environment or learning environment. What could that be? Now, for example, I will give you the example of my son, what I did with my son. I wanted him to learn cycling, but as long as I bought him a new, good version of cycle, he was not ready to do cycling. And once I bought it, I don't have to stop him from doing the cycling, right? So when you want to inculcate studying habit or reading habit, it is very important to set up a reading environment. What do I mean by that? You can buy them a study table, or you can buy them nice, if you want them to keep writing, bring them nice books, nice pencils. What happens when they are having such things, they get enthused to use that, so that they are, even a pencil, a new kind of pencil could be encouraging factor to write than not having a same old pencil, and you are asking them, shouting at them, pestering them to do the writing, right? So the first method is, you can think of very creatively, like what I can do, what environment I can change, what I can change so that they will feel like using that one, writing or reading or studying, right? So study table, nice stickers near the place, some superhero stickers. You can just try to understand your children and set up a good reading environment. That's the first thing. The second thing that you can do is make them choose what they want to learn. Let them choose what they want to learn. For example, many parents do this thing. They set up one timetable and ask the children to learn. No, let's not do that. Why? Because nobody would be happy to do a certain thing in which they feel they are being controlled. Correct? If you are being controlled, if you feel you are being controlled by your boss, your creativity and your productivity levels will be much lesser than in an environment where you feel you are independent to do the work in a way that you want to do, right? It applies the same thing to the children also. You have to give them the liberty to choose what to learn at that particular moment. Now, if they're saying they are comfortable with a particular subject and they want to start with that, and we say, no, you are good in that, no, start some other subject. Maybe that's a very difficult thing for the child. What happens to the child? The child is like, their motivation levels to continue studying or learning goes down. And what strategy they are thinking about of learning the easy thing for them may be very good, because it will improve their confidence or interest levels while doing the studying. But then you can of course set a limit, like this subject you are very good at, so let's do it only for this much time. Rest of the time, next maybe you should choose one of this. Give them the choice. Give them the choice. Give them the choice and state 3 more subjects or 3 more topics, right? Among them, let them choose it. That's the second way. Third way is, when we set an example, then children follow that. If they see us learning, doing, stretching our limits and doing more, what happens? They also try to do the same thing. So you would ask me, should I start learning social studies or should I start doing? No, it could just be that you are progressing in your career by studying much more. When they see that you are learning, you are improving even after getting into a job or getting into a career, you are learning, that learning interest rubs off to them also. They also get enthusiastic to continue to learn. Different children have different ways of learning. They have a different learning style. What do you mean? What do I mean by that? Some children can learn when something is explained to them. Some children learn only they read it on their own. Some children understand when it is visualized. Some children understand when they write it or learn it better when they write it. So there are different learning styles for your child, for any child. So we have to identify what is the style of your child, of our child, right? If we know that our child learns better by reading on their own, then we must give them the quiet place and things like that. If they can learn only by understanding somebody's explanation, then instead of just asking them to study, read, we have to take the responsibility or assign some tutor or somebody who will explain to them again and again. Then they will learn. Some children they can learn only by writing. So such children you have to give them life. So you can try and test what works best for your child. So knowing that there are different learning styles itself is much beneficial to parents, I think. So otherwise, what do we think? We get stuck in the way that we learned. We think that's the same way our children also should learn. But that might not be the case. Their learning style might be different. So try different learning styles so that you will find out which is the best learning style for them, and then use the same style or ask them to do the same thing. Instead of worrying and sitting and thinking or sending them to tuitions or shouting at them, maybe a little thinking on our parents' side about what is the learning style of my child. If we start thinking about it, then we will be able to do much better effective ways where we can see improvement in our children. Then the next thing is about, don't keep learning only to books or school or class. Bring it outside. Now, if you're seeing a child studying and child is studying something, ask. If they are younger children, you can include what they're learning in the daily life. For example, if they're learning something about pollination or something like that, and you know that they are learning about it, then when you and your child are in the garden, you can show them or tell them, see, this is what is happening, this is what is the stamen, this is what is piston. Now what happens? Oh, the child will feel that the learning, whatever they're learning, is not only in the book. They start seeing that it is applicable outside also. When they start seeing that learning is all around, then they connect the dots, they become more interested in learning from the books. Now, if they are older children and you just cannot find ways and means to teach them how they can see that particular concept in outside world. For example, high school children might be learning algebra and they are stuck with that. How are you going to tell them that it is used in the outside world? It might be very difficult for you. But then there are books, there are resources. Instead of you doing it, you can ask your children to see and find out if they can use those concepts somewhere. just asking them this question that where can you use this? Where is this used? If you ask these two questions, where can you use this? Where is it used? Can you find out? Then children themselves, nowadays they have access to Google all throughout, so they will try to find, and when they find something interesting, that is the way that they will be more interested in learning. You just have to ask two questions. Where is this used? Where can you use it? That's it. These two questions can make them think about the subject matter outside the books and outside the classroom. So this is the next way to increase their motivation in learning. Then the final way that you can inculcate motivation for your children to learn something is celebrating their victory. Yes, you have to celebrate small things that they do or they complete. Now, as soon as they complete a chapter, and which was very difficult for them, which you know that was very difficult, celebrate it. That celebration can be just a hug or a pat, or it could be some treat that you have made at home and you're feeding your child first before everybody else. That itself, that also can be a celebration. So the point that my parents are celebrating me finishing learning a chapter can motivate your child to learn more, because they want to stand up to you. They look up to you. They want to be appreciated by you. So take the opportunity of celebrating small wins. That's the one more way to motivate children to continue learning well, and where you don't have to worry. You're worrying, thinking, shouting at them, pestering them. We can avoid all these things and follow these methods. Follow these methods so that we don't have to get into worsen our relationship with our children, but yet make them good academically. These methods are effective, and this needs a little bit of thinking from our side, but then I think it's worth the trouble, worth the effort that we make, because when they are good in academics, we are tension free, and they are progressing very well, and that's what every parent wants. That's what I believe. So thank you for watching. If you have used any of these methods, please do come back to this video and leave a comment whether this worked for you. If it did not work for you, also please do let me know what problems you faced, so that I can take it up and make some other solutions, come up with some other solutions, because I am totally into this education field, educating children, and I would love to think creatively, come up with some creative solutions for children to enable them to become good academically, right? Thank you very much for watching again. You are the only one of your kind created by God. So take care.